Hello and welcome to this video on the secret to success in school. If you're a student, you know that one of the biggest challenges with school is knowing what to do first and knowing when to do each task in order to get everything done by its due date. In this video, I'm going to talk about how automatic time block planners can help solve this challenge, and then I'm going to give you a step-by-step guide on how to set up and use an automatic time block planner that I helped build so you can have the easiest school year of your life. So first, what is time blocking? Time blocking is an effective time management technique where you block time in your calendar for each of the tasks on your to-do list. The reason this is so effective is because it allows you to visually see your tasks on your calendar, and you're also more likely to get tasks done if you plan a specific time for them. The problem with time blocking, though, is that it's not flexible. When plans change or you get behind, you have to go into your calendar and manually move each time block one by one in order to adjust to the changes. This is why it's important to use an automatic time block planner that can automatically block time on your schedule for you. And when plans change or you get behind, you just hit a button and it reschedules everything automatically for you. So you're always up to date. You can get a fresh start as many times as you need throughout the day. FlowSavvy is an automatic time block planner that I helped build. I actually started building it when I was a student, and it quickly became my superpower and just made everything so much easier. So with that, let's jump into FlowSavvy, and I'm going to give you a step-by-step guide on how to set it up and use it to auto-schedule all of your coursework so you always know what's next and when you need to do everything. So we're in FlowSavvy now, and the first step is going to be to add all of our classes as repeating events. So I will add, for example, History 120 from 9 a.m. to 9:50, and that's going to repeat I'm going to do custom, so I can do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Now, events in FlowSavvy are fixed in place and FlowSavvy will never move them, but it's important to get these in so that FlowSavvy knows when not to schedule tasks. So I'll go ahead and add the rest of my classes here in my schedule. Okay, so we've got our classes in here. Next step is going to be to define our scheduling hours. These are the hours that FlowSavvy is going to schedule our flexible tasks. So we can do that by coming here to the menu, go to settings, and then scheduling hours, and then I'll click on personal hours and change this to school hours. And let's say I want to work on school tasks from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day. So I'm going to copy that to all the other days, and you can customize this however you like. For example, if you want to not do any schoolwork on Sunday, you can just delete this, and then FlowSavvy won't schedule any school tasks on Sunday. But I'm going to go ahead and add Sunday back, and then I'll finish. Okay, so the next step is to add all of your assignments as tasks into FlowSavvy. And whether you decide to add just a few weeks of tasks at a time or the entire semester, getting your tasks into FlowSavvy up front will pay off, because once your tasks are in FlowSavvy, FlowSavvy automatically schedules them every week, and you just have to go and review that everything is correct and reasonable, and then you automatically have a perfectly optimized schedule that you can follow. So I'm going to start with my Physics 220 class and add all of the assignments for that class for the next few weeks. So what I usually like to do is come to settings and then calendars, and I'm going to create a calendar for the tasks in this class. I'll just call it Physics 220. Use the color and add that calendar. And then I'm going to put all of my tasks for physics into this calendar just to keep things organized. So let's say for my first task, I have Physics 220 homework that's due on Friday. I am going to click this plus button, type Physics 220 homework, and then I'm going to leave auto schedule on because I want FlowSavvy to find the best time for me for this task. I'm going to say this homework is going to take me an hour, that's fine, and then I'm going to do it during the school hours that we just set up. It's normal priority, that's fine, and it's due by Friday at 11:59 p.m. And then I'm going to change that calendar to Physics 220. And I can add that task, and you can see that FlowSavvy is going to automatically find a time for it for me. But let's say I actually want this homework to repeat every Friday. What I can do is click onto the task, click more options, and change does not repeat to weekly. Now you'll notice that it says each occurrence can be started the day of its due date. So I'll show you what happens if I save that. Now I've got one occurrence of my physics homework every Friday on Friday. But let's say I want to do it a few days in advance. So I want to be able to do it anytime during the week before each Friday. So I'll click on this task and change each occurrence can be started the day of its due date to, let's say, 5 days before. So it could be started every Sunday, and then each occurrence of the task can be done between Sunday and Friday. So I'll show you what happens if I do that. Now I've got plenty of time before the due date. Okay, let's add our next task. My next task is going to be lab report, and that's going to be due every Monday, and it can be started after my lab. Let's say my lab is 3 p.m. on Friday. So I'm going to make my lab report task. Let's say I need an hour, and it's due, the first one's going to be due on Monday the 16th at 11:59, and then I'm going to do more options, make it repeat every week, and then I'm going to change each occurrence can be started to, let's see, what would that be? 1 day before is Sunday, 2 days before is Saturday, 3 is Friday at the end of this class. We'll just say 4 p.m. And then I'm going to change the calendar to physics again. And there we go. Now we have a lab report assignment scheduled every week between our lab and when it's due on Monday. Okay, I'm gonna schedule the rest of my tasks now. So I'll fast forward through this part and then we'll move on to the next step. So I've added all of my tasks, and you can see that FlowSavvy has automatically scheduled all of them for me. So I know exactly what I need to do and when I need to do it in order to get everything done by its due date. One thing I want to point out here is that all of my tasks are green, and that's because FlowSavvy automatically color codes tasks according to their proximity to their deadline. So these tasks are green because they're scheduled with plenty of time before their deadline. If a task was scheduled on the day of its due date, it would be colored orange, and if it was scheduled after its deadline, it would be colored red. So if we look at my schedule, we can see that I've got a few large blocks of time scheduled in the afternoons and evenings because these tasks are like 6 hours long, and that's the only place that FlowSavvy can find to put that large of a task. If I want to break that task up though and have it be scheduled in these smaller blocks of availability, what I can do is click on the task, click more options, and turn splittable on. And then I'll say the minimum block duration I want for this essay is 30 minutes, and then I'll save that. And then FlowSavvy can split it up and just put it in when I have time. Okay, so we've got a pretty reasonable schedule here. And we can move on to our next step, which is to schedule study time for our tests. So let's say I've got a test coming up for physics on the 20th, and I'll actually just schedule it right here. We could say physics test, and I'll make it 2 hours long and put it back in the FlowSavvy calendar. Now I will schedule time to study for physics test. And I'm going to say I need 3 hours to study for this test before Friday the 20th at 12 p.m. I'll put that in the physics calendar and go ahead and I'll say that I can split that up into chunks of an hour, and then I'll add that. And so it looks like it scheduled study for physics test on Wednesday the 11th. That might be a little early for studying for this test on the 20th, so I'm gonna say it can be started on the 17th, just a few days before. That should be more reasonable. And there it is on the 17th. Okay, so next I wanna talk about another way to split up large tasks. So we talked earlier about how you can use the splittable option to allow FlowSavvy to split up tasks. But if you want to control the spread of the tasks more, you can actually use repeating tasks to say, for example, I want to do 1 hour of this essay every other day for 3 occurrences. That way it spreads the task up over like 6 days. So for example, let me take this Lit 110 essay. Right now I have 4 hours of work due on the 20th. what I'm gonna do is change that to be a 1-hour task that repeats. I'm gonna do a custom repeat rule, and I'm gonna say, I'm gonna do 1 hour every other day, and I want this repeating task to end after 4 occurrences. So 1 hour times 4 gives me my total of 4. And then I also need to make the due date start a little earlier so that the repeating rule can finish by the 20th. So what that's gonna be is 4 occurrences every other day. That puts my first occurrence due on the 14th. So let's see what that does. Lit 110 essay, so that puts my first occurrence here on Saturday, second on Monday, and then I should have Wednesday and Friday. And so that's getting my 4 hours of my essay done all by the 20th. And that spreads it out nicely instead of just doing it all in one block. And repeat rules are extremely customizable, so you can tweak this to anything you need and spread tasks out as you like. And then the last step is going to be to just add a weekly review task to give you time to review your tasks for the coming week, make sure everything is accounted for, make sure everything is correct. So I'm gonna add that. We'll say 30 minutes. It can be 30 minutes to an hour, whatever you need. And I'm going to say do that by Sunday every week, all in one chunk, so I'm not gonna turn splittable on, and then add that, and that'll just give me time to verify that everything is correct before the coming week. And let's find that, should be here on Sunday. I've got my weekly review task. So that's it for the step-by-step guide on how to use FlowSavvy. If you follow the steps and tips in this guide, you can ensure that all of your assignments, projects, and tasks are perfectly scheduled and accounted for. This will help you stay organized, reduce stress, and set you up for academic success. Last thing I want to mention is that FlowSavvy has a great free plan, and if you're a student, you can get 50% off the pro version by emailing us at support@flowsavvy.app from your school email address. So definitely take advantage of that if you want to use the pro version. Anyway, I hope that helps, and thanks for watching.